However, the most critical policy failures are essentially strategic and therefore have the most profound impact. Simply stated, they are the United States and allies' strategic failure to organize, plan, and defeat radical Islam and to successfully counter Iranian regional hegemony. As to radical Islam, 23 years after the first World Trade Center bombing and 14 plus years after 9/11, we still have no comprehensive strategy to defeat radical Islam. Radical Islam is morphing into a global jihad with the expansion of Al-Qaeda and the extraordinary success of ISIS, which has rapidly become the most successful terrorist organization in history, still growing at 1.5 to 2,000 per month and expanding into affiliate organizations throughout the Middle East, Africa, South and Southeast Asia, and developing a worldwide following where believers are willing to kill their fellow citizens, foment terror and unrest, and polarize the population between Muslim and non-Muslims. See the map provided by the Institute for the Study of War, which depicts ISIS's desire to expand into affiliates in the near abroad in orange and the far abroad in yellow, with the number of current affiliates as represented by the black stars and affiliate blue stars. Most of the far abroad do not have affiliates, but rather radicalized followers who are inspired by ISIS to act, either as individuals or small cells. The United States strategic failure derives from not understanding the nature of the conflict. The Bush war on terror and the Obama counterterrorism war are simply tactics. The battle is within Islam itself, where in the Arab world this battle is intersecting with authoritarian regimes and family monarchies' failure to politically reform and to adjust to the needs of their societies. Therefore, we are fighting a political and religious ideology which draws its origin from the very strict interpretation of the Quran and Hadith, the intolerance of Wahhabism and Salafism. Political leaders such as al-Sisi and King Abdullah have referred to it as a religious revolution. Yet the current U.S. administration fails to define radical Islam or explain it, nor understand it. How can we possibly defeat radical Islam if we don't understand it? Knowing the kind of war you are fighting is the first priority of a national or military leader. Given this purposeful misunderstanding, or self-deception at best, by not acknowledging this narrowly focused Islamic ideology, it creates an unnecessary condition where all Muslims are brought under suspicion. Law-abiding, faith-based, traditional, or modern Muslims who would do no harm to the fellow man and resent any association with radical Islam deserve better treatment than that. This is a 21st generational ideological struggle similar to the 20th century multi-generational struggle with communist ideology. The 9/11 Commission recommended a global alliance to design a strategy and to work together to defeat radical Islam. King Salman of Saudi Arabia is organizing a 34-member alliance to combat radical Islam. And it remains to be seen. The next president of the United States will likely defeat ISIS in Iraq and Syria, having provided the required resources and leadership necessary to do the job. But ISIS and radical Islam is a global movement. It is not a question of whether we want to combat radical Islam. It's unavoidable. The only question is how. Well, I believe global alliance members should design a strategy and not the United States. There are some elements that are obvious and critical. National leaders and Muslim clerics must undermine the political and religious ideology with not just what is wrong, but what is the right thinking and ideology. Arab Muslim countries must change the levels of intolerance and the influence of Wahhabism. Political reform and social justice are essential. Financial and economic support must be countered, and countries permitting such behavior by their citizens should be held accountable. Intelligence, technology, and selected equipment should be shared. Partnering for training and military education is essential to raise the level of operational competence. There is no substitute for an effective ground force supported by air power.